Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're looking at the massive, absolutely undeniable cultural impact of a true hip-hop pioneer. Think about it. If you've been to a wedding, a cookout, a club, or a block party, literally anywhere in the world over the last 3 decades, you know this man's energy. You have felt it. So today we're going to unpack the life, the music, and the enduring legacy of the legendary Rob Bass. I want to rock right now. I'm Rob Bass, and I came to get down. You know, just hearing those words read out loud instantly triggers a massive wave of nostalgia, doesn't it? I mean, it's a lyric that practically forces you to smile and head straight to the dance floor. It represents this era of pure, unadulterated joy in music. But today, well, we reflect on those iconic words with a heavy heart as we pivot to the really tragic recent news regarding the voice behind that famous intro. Chapter 1. Passing of a Legend. The facts here are heartbreakingly simple. Robert Ginyard, known to all of us as Rob Bass, passed away on May 22, 2026. He was just 59 years old. And what makes the timing of this particularly tough is that he had literally just celebrated his 59th birthday a mere 4 days prior, posting a message online thanking God for seeing another year. Ultimately, he succumbed to a private battle with cancer. It was a very quiet end for a man whose art was so wonderfully, famously loud. His family shared this really heartfelt statement on his official Instagram that perfectly captures this duality. They wrote, "Rob's music, energy, and legacy helped shape a generation and brought joy to millions around the world. Beyond the stage, he was a loving father, family man, friend, and creative force whose impact will never be forgotten." And you know, this quote is a powerful reminder for us. We all knew the superstar who totally commanded the stage. But his loved ones, they knew the man behind the mic, a man who fiercely protected his private life right up to the very end. Okay, let's dive into this. Chapter 2, Harlem Roots to Hip-Hop. To really understand the magnitude of what Rob Bass achieved, we gotta go back and look at exactly where and how this musical titan got his start. The story actually begins in Harlem, New York. In the 5th grade, Robert Ginyard meets Rodney Bryce. They're just kids, right? But they are deeply inspired by the local success of a group called the Crash Crew. They knew they wanted in on this exploding hip-hop scene. So they divided and conquered. It's kind of brilliant, actually. Rob Bass bought a microphone, and Rodney, who'd soon be known as DJ Easy Rock, got a mixer and turntables. It was this super simple division of labor that laid the concrete foundation for a legendary duo. And their ascent, it was incredibly fast. Born in 1967, Rob was already making serious local noise by 1986 with early underground demos like DJ Interview and Make It Hot. That buzz caught the ear of Profile Records, which was one of the earliest hip-hop labels out there, and they signed the duo in 1987. Then, just 1 year later in 1988, their lives and honestly the entire trajectory of popular music changed forever. Chapter 3. The Anthem. It Takes Two. So this brings us to the creation of their absolute defining masterpiece, the track that etched their names into the history books forever. It Takes Two was nothing short of revolutionary, produced by the legendary Teddy Riley. This track did something that hadn't really been done effectively before. It seamlessly fused the aggressive lyricism and breakbeats of hip-hop with the driving, infectious, high-energy tempo of house music. And get this genre-defining hit was reportedly written in about 2 nights. 2 nights. The secret sauce? A brilliant, flawlessly executed vocal sample from Lynn Collins' 1972 hit song Think About It. And the public response? Immediate. The song soared all the way to number 3 on Billboard's Hot Dance/Club Songs chart. It didn't just play in the clubs, guys. It ruled them. It completely cemented this absolute elite status as a certified club anthem that literally demanded you get on the dance floor. And this brilliantly illustrates that the success wasn't just confined to the underground club scene. The single totally crossed over, peaking at number 36 on the mainstream Billboard Hot 100. Both the single and the album of the same name went platinum. And they proved they weren't just a one-hit wonder by dropping a super successful follow-up single, Get on the Dance Floor, which also absolutely dominated the club charts. But you know, charts and sales only tell a fraction of the story. It Takes Two became this permanent bridge that brought hip-hop directly into mainstream pop consciousness, across all kinds of media. It was sampled by massive artists like Snoop Dogg and the Black Eyed Peas. You'd hear it while driving a virtual car in the blockbuster video game Grand Theft Auto: San Andreas. It popped up in major Hollywood films, from Sandra Bullock's The Proposal to Marvel's Iron Man 2. It was literally everywhere. Chapter 4. An Enduring Cultural Impact. Let's look past the industry data for a second, past the platinum plaques and the movie credits. We need to understand the visceral, street-level human experience of this music. Like, how did it actually feel to be there when this song dropped? To capture that feeling, look at this quote from a fan on a hip-hop Reddit forum, reminiscing about the track. They wrote, "You couldn't walk down a single street in Philly that summer without hearing that sinuous whoop. It was part of the atmosphere." Think about that. The summer of 1988, boomboxes blasting on the block, the heat coming off the pavement, and that undeniable magnetic urge to just dance. It wasn't just a song, it was the sonic backdrop of an entire season. Now, what's really interesting about this is how another fan beautifully described it. They said that song was lightning in a bottle. It went diamond in the streets. And that street-level respect, it translated to the highest tiers of hip-hop royalty. I mean, even a lyrical giant like Nas has publicly said he considers It Takes Two to be among his top 5 hip-hop songs of all time. That right there proves its universal respect. It's a track that totally satisfies both the everyday partygoer and the hardcore hip-hop purist. Chapter 5. The Soundtrack to Our Lives. Examining the later years of his life reveals a continuation of his musical journey, for sure, but also some really profound personal highs and heartbreaking losses. Following their massive breakout, Rob actually dropped a solo album in 1989 called The Incredible Bass. He later reunited with DJ Easy Rock for a final studio album in 1994. But as we move into the 2010s, the timeline turns deeply tragic. In 2013, Rob suffered the devastating loss of his wife of 14 years, April. And then, just months later, in April of 2014, his lifelong friend and musical partner, DJ Easy Rock, passed away at the age of 46 from complications linked to diabetes. Dealing with back-to-back losses like that, it was an incredibly heavy burden for him to bear. Yet, despite all these heartbreaks, his personal legacy is truly one of resilience and love. He was a deeply devoted family man, a loving father to his daughter DeJane and his son Robert Jr., and a guardian to April's cousin DeSelle. And musically, he never, ever stopped sharing his joy. For decades after his initial breakout, right up into recent years, he continued to tour solo on the I Love the 90s tour. He kept bringing that unmistakable energy to fans old and new, proving once and for all that true party anthems simply never age. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. How many artists can say they truly created the soundtrack to our lives? Very, very few can claim to have crafted a moment so perfect that it unites entire generations on a dance floor with just a single opening line. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. As you go about your day, I really hope you take a moment to reflect on Rob Bass's immortal cultural footprint. And hey, maybe, just maybe, take a second to put on the track and rock right now.